So I'm coming to you today from the Michael's HiFi Adventure Action Cam. And the reason why we're on the Action Cam is because of this. Yes, I have a little mini studio of professional gear. And the product we're talking about today, which is the Gilbert Yeung 312 preamp, has got a really unique feature about it that typically you only see in professional gear and recording studios. But that feature is what I think elevates this preamp above many others. So stay tuned and I'll talk more about it. So guys, today we're actually going to be using our B camera unit, which sounds all fancy and cinematography-like. In reality, it is my Apple iPhone. And the reason why we're using that and we don't have the normal Canon setup is that's in the other room, just dealing with some technical issues in regards to that. Not a big deal, but I really wanted to get this video done because I'm really excited about this product. And this is going to be a different type of review than other reviews that I've done, and I'm going to tell you why. I think that as a reviewer, I'm not a reviewer, so don't call me that. As someone who likes to share their passion for the hobby and their love and what I hear in my experiments, it's easy to get stuck in a rut. And I think other people who are actual reviewers get stuck in a rut. They use the same format or they only think within a certain box. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody does their own thing and that's what's great. I like to do things a little bit differently. As you know, I don't take measurements. I don't talk specs. I simply talk about how it emotionally impacts me, how I like it, what I hear, and whom I think it would be a good match for, because it's not always necessarily a good match for me. That's okay. That's not what I'm saying about this next product. But I hear people say, and this kind of drives me nuts. I'll read on the forums, well, I'm going to buy this product or I'm not going to touch this product because I want to hear what the artist intended. Guys, first of all, you have no idea what the artist intended. Second of all, you're not hearing what the artist intended. And I refer to this book, which my British buddy, you've heard me talk about my British buddy in other videos. He referred this book to me, and it is really interesting. I'm also reading another book by him where it talks about a famous recording studio engineer dude and the stories of all the recording artists. And guys, these people, more times than not, were so strung out on drugs, were as high as a kite, they could not get the sound that they necessarily wanted. It was full of compromises. They started at one studio, went to another, finished at a third. They have different recording engineers. So my only point is this. You have no idea what the artist intended you to hear. So I don't care what the artist wanted me to hear or not hear or how high they may or may not be. I only care about that I emotionally connect with the music and I enjoy it. Let me give you an example. You'll never hear somebody say, well, I test drove vehicle such and such and I want to connect with the vehicle the way the engineers wanted me to, therefore I'm not going to put better tires on it, or I'm not going to upgrade the stereo, or I'm not going to put fancy stuff on the on a hitch. I'm not going to put a hitch on it because they didn't intend me to have a hitch. Guys, you got to do what you like, and that's where I'm going with this next product. So let's start this next product a little bit backwards. It is a preamp. I have got a 25-year history with this company. Originally, it was Blue Circle by Gilbert Yeung, and I had their preamp and monoblocks about 25 years ago. Loved it, phenomenal. Gilbert Yeung has since come out with a preamp, and one of the things that he was always known for was he'd always do things, and I mean this as a compliment, a little bit differently, because he was always focused just on the sound. So here we've got, this unit comes with, along with the power unit, it comes with, we've got a giant, holy crap, giant capacitor pack. Now guys, first of all, You can't really see it on the video. I'm going to put some pictures. The design of this stuff is absolutely beautiful. We see so many square boxes and maybe they use a different color or this or that. But this has got a two levels to it. The front level is all different angles. It lights up blue when it's turned on. And I can't get the greatest lighting on this, but I'll show you some pictures. It is absolutely, along with being incredibly heavy, very beautiful. And that's the capacitor pack, which you don't necessarily have to have. And here is the preamp. So this is what makes this preamp so special. And I alluded to this in my opening. I'm looking at it upside down here. Is these two knobs right here. Okay? One is titled tubes, one is titled SS. And for those of you who don't know, my original videos way back when were actually on studio gear, channel strips, microphones, things like that. And in the course of learning about that and reading all this, my personal favorite, having tried many ones, is Rupert Neve gear. And they're famous for a little knob called silk. And that silk dials in, for lack of a better word, attitude. And many people don't realize when this stuff is being put on tape, you're not hearing a straight shot from that microphone onto the recording medium. It goes through all sorts of buses and channel strips and distressors, and they are altering that sound as to what you hear to get it a certain way and to get it sounding, frankly, better. That's what these two things do. Think of these as, in my personal opinion, a Rupert Neve or an SSL or a channel strip that you would see in a massive recording console in your home, where you can dial in the amount of attitude or lifelikeness and adjust the emotional connection that you have with the music. And I say this as a massive positive because many of us do this already. We'll change cables, we'll change tubes. Lord knows I'm going through a bunch of NOS tubes. We're going to change speakers, all to get a different sound that we find more pleasing. In using this, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I loved it. I loved what these knobs could do. This is not, if you're one of those people who says, just tell me what to set the knob at, so when I receive something, I'll go ahead and it'll be fine. No, you need to find out what you like, where you like it, and how it fits in your system. What I noticed on a lot of the songs that I would play through this, adjusting these, I could dial in and get rid of some of that digital sterileness or recorded sterileness or make up for deficiencies, or frankly, even if it's not a bad recording, add more presence, more tonality, more, I can almost reach out and touch it in a way that to me just allowed me to emotionally connect with the music in a much more authentic way than without it. Here's who this isn't for. If you're one of those people that likes, in my opinion, if you're one of those people that likes purely highly analytical, solid state sound, or Class D, digital, yeah, I mean, it may be, Class D may tonally be okay, but I can't emotionally connect with anything I've ever heard Class D, regardless of the price. This is the opposite. This is adding in, I'm gonna use that word, a little bit of attitude, that emotional connection. Think of this as your emotional connection dial. How much do you want to dial with the strings or the vocals or whatever it is that you attach to in that music? This allows you to get it to a place where you can really experience it in a unique and better way. I mean, overall, I think it's a much better sound. I love this preamp. I think it's a beautiful preamp. My wife actually commented it's the best looking piece that she's ever seen come through here that didn't have a bunch of tubes sticking out of it. She loves the way that tubes look. I can't say enough good things about this piece. And I think it's so great that he's thinking outside the proverbial box, both in terms of looks. That's actually a pretty good shot there. You can see what it looks like in terms of looks, but also in terms of letting us get that connection to the music. That's what it's all about. So I know I've repeated the same thing several times about the emotional connection, about how unique it is, but I think that is the whole purpose of this unit. If you're somebody who just wants, who says, well, I want something that doesn't alter the signal at all. Well, first of all, everything alters the signal. There's nothing electronic in the world that doesn't imprint some sort of sound signature on it. The difference is, do you want to be able to control that and get it in a way that is unique and that you love? Or do you want to go through unit after unit after unit trying to find that magic one that works for you? Guys, this is fantastic. I got to tell you, it would work with, I used tube amps on it. I actually had some solid state come in here. It worked equally fine with all of them. I think you're going to love this. I am going to link to my Facebook page down below because Gilbert actually did a nice write-up on the technical aspects of this, and I don't want to simply repeat what he said because he said it better than I could. So I am going to link to that posting down below in the what about box on the YouTube, so that you can read what he has to say about the capacitor pack and things like that. I can't say enough good things about this. Kudos to you, Gilbert, for really bringing, I'm going to say, professional level resources and professional level sound to those of us in the home hi-fi world. This is when I saw this, all I could think of was Rupert Need's Silk Button, which I love to use, and a lot of people use it in the recordings. Now you can too.